Good morning, Troy High School.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Syra.
And we're your anchors today on Tea with Lipton. And on to our first matter, photography. Let's go to Rachel with advice on how to brew up a good picture using ISO, aperture, and depth of field.
So we're currently looking at the interface of a camera. Right now, we can see there are grid lines on the camera. These intersecting points on the grid indicate the best points to place your subject in. These areas on screen captures the viewer's attention the most, as this is where humans naturally drift their focus towards, and is known as the rule of thirds. Now, let's move on to the settings to adjust the camera mode. All of these topics contribute together to create the perfect photo, with shutter speed controlling how close the two curtains of the camera are, ISO dealing with the exposure of the image, and aperture determining how big the hole in the camera is. The higher the ISO, the grainier the image, and the lower the ISO results in darker, more sharp images. ISO and shutter speed are directly related to each other because there needs to be a 3-stop difference between the two settings. The aperture controls the brightness of an image. The bigger the hole, the brighter the image is, as we are letting more photons in. Now, back to the anchors.
Thank you, Rachel.
That was a throwback? That feels like it was so long ago.
You know what else is a throwback? Composition!
You're right. Hey, here's a segment all about composition.
What is photography? Many people have different definitions. Some call it an art, others call it a way to capture history. Overall, photography is a way for people to share their thoughts with others. One person can look at a photo and completely interpret it differently from another person. But how does photography come to be? It starts with composition. Composition is how a photographer chooses to structure an image. This can be done in various ways. One compositional element is FMB, or foreground, midground, background. FMB allows for a visually interesting photo. You place your subject in the middle, then place a background behind and an object in front of your subject. Lines can also lead a viewer through a picture. This is due to the fact that human eyes naturally follow lines. Lighting can be a big influence on a photo. Different colors evoke different emotions. It is best to keep your subject well lit. This can be done via a main light source known as key light. Key light is not the only important light, however. Hair light allows for a subject to look healthy and more appealing. At the end of the day, keep in mind that these rules are not hard set and you don't need to stick to them to make a photo work. That's what makes photography so great.
For that segment, photography was an amazing unit. My favorite part was using Photoshop to edit the photos we took.
Speaking of Photoshop, remember the tutorials? You know, the ones that we spent weeks on helping us learn the program better?
Oh yeah, I think we have someone who can show our viewers one of those tutorials.
Let's go to Desiree, who will showcase one of these tutorials.
Are great for learning new skills. They are easy to follow and brief, so go to the Learn tab and click which one you would like. Today, I will be showing you my personal favorite tutorial, how to replace a photo background. Wow, look at this adorable dog. We're going to call him Jimmy. So, first we're going to select the dog layer and long press this tool right here. Choose the quick selection tool and set the brush size to about 40. You can use the slider right here or type in the size. After that, drag over Jimmy and his cute beanie. Oops, I accidentally grabbed some of the background. Sorry, Jimmy, but no worries. I can select the brush with the minus sign right here and deselect the background to fix it. There we go. Now that we've selected Jimmy, it's time to change his background to something more exciting. See, right here is another layer of a flowery field. To get that as the background, click either this or this to create a layer mask. Wow, now Jimmy's in a nice field. I think he likes it. Now, you may notice there's a little bit of green background right here. Not to worry, I have another trick for that. Make sure the dog layer is selected. Then, click this eraser tool and set your brush to a small size. I'm using about a size 10 right now. Press Ctrl+ on your keyboard to zoom in and brush over that green background to remove it. There we go. Now Jimmy is perfect. That's all for today. Now back to the anchors.
Thank you, Desiree, for that segment.
During our Photoshop unit, we often had Freestyle Fridays to utilize the skills we learned from Photoshop's tutorials.
Mr. Knowles would give us a prompt such as fixing color or blur, and we would use our creative skills to create a project.
Here's an example of a Freestyle Friday we did this semester. We created a thumbnail for the behind-the-scenes video on Troy Omnia.
This beautiful thumbnail was created by Kyla. She used her creative liberty to create a fun, visually appealing thumbnail that tells the viewer what the video is about.
Then there's other people who decide to take another view on creative liberty. Here's an absolutely gorgeous thumbnail created by Amy, who chose to recreate the painting, The Creation of Adam.
I guess this was just an interpretation with mercenals and Omnia. I don't know, let's move on.
Hey Syra, do you know why we get along so well?
Why?
I guess it's because we're on the same wavelength. And that was a perfect transition to our next subject. Audio!
Yes, indeed. During our audio unit, we used various equipment like boom mics and Tascams. To edit, we used another Adobe app called Audition. We learned to reduce white noise and remix audio to shorten things like background music.
And here's a video by Pranavi explaining the intricate works of audio equipment.
Rolling? Okay, hey, my name is Pranavi and I'm going to talk about the audio equipment we use in class. So first, let's start with the mics we use. This is a condenser mic, and condenser mics have a cardioid of about 3 feet. And cardioids are the shape that actually pick up the sound, so they're basically just the range of the mic. These kinds of mics are really great for capturing high quality audio, especially in studio settings. The other kind of mic we use are dynamic or live mics. These are the kind of mics you'll see at live shows, at like concerts and stuff. These mics have a small cardioid that's just about the size of a volleyball. They're very sensitive, so they're good at capturing only the voice of the speaker. When you use these, it's good practice to hold them by your chin, so like this, so you can get the best quality audio possible. And then the third piece of equipment we use are Tascams. These are what we actually use to record. To turn them on, you press the home button and you long press it. And then after you turn it on, you'll have to do some adjusting with the audio levels or the input levels by pressing these buttons on the side here. Once you're ready, you can start recording by pressing the record button here. So when you press this button, it'll start blinking. And when it's blinking, that means it's about ready to record. And then when you actually start recording, you press it and then it's just red. When you're finished recording, you can press this button again and then press the home button to end the recording. So then you'll see the audio file on the screen. So that's basically it for the audio equipment we use and how we use it. Now back to the anchors.
Thank you for that segment. Our last unit in this class was creating and editing video. This unit was all about combining the specifics we learned in photography and audio to create videos.
While filming, we still had to keep the basics of photography in mind, such as lighting, rule of thirds, ISO, and aperture. We also learned to use Premiere to sync our audio with our video, as camera audio is not the best quality.
We also learned a lot about writing scripts that tell stories that portray the characteristics of a person through the simplicity of using various shots or editing.
Now let's watch a segment by Syra that demonstrates storytelling through the camera.
The 2023 to 2024 Troy High School girls volleyball frosh soft team went undefeated in league. Their hard work and dedication to their sport is inspiring and is showcased in their play. Now, let's talk with frosh soft outside hitter Natalia Padilla.
Hi, I'm Natalia Padilla and I'm an outside hitter.
So, what would you say is your favorite aspect of volleyball?
I would say the teamwork aspect, mostly because I enjoy working a lot with others, and I don't think playing sports would be as fun if you're doing it alone, like tennis, for example. Yeah.
So, as a student athlete, how would you balance sports with school?
So I don't get picked up until around 5, so I do all my homework from 2:30 to 5, and I get a lot of work done that way, and since practice starts at 7, I can also do work when I get home.
And lastly, how did it feel to go undefeated?
When we won the Sunny Hills game, it felt unreal, and it was pretty amazing, and I enjoyed celebrating as a team.
The future is looking bright for the girls volleyball program here at Troy High School. We may have made history, but this is just the beginning.
Wow, what an amazing segment. So, Syra, I have a few questions for you. How long does it take to create a segment?
So for this specific assignment, we had about 7 days, and the first couple days is all for planning, and then the next couple days you get your B-roll, you do your interview, and then the rest of the time you have for editing.
How did you come up with the topic that you chose?
So I wanted to do something that the students of Troy High School would relate to, so I decided to do my topic on the life of a student athlete.
So what's your favorite aspect of storytelling with the camera?
I would have to say definitely B-roll. B-roll allows for a new perspective to be shown, and it truly adds to the purpose of the segment, and I think that's really important.
Thank you, Syra, for this amazing interview. Now here's Emily and Kai-Tu talking about learning to use Premiere to edit.
What's up, guys? I'm Emily and this is Kai-Tu. And today we're going to be talking about Premiere tutorials. So, Kai-Tu, could you give us a quick run-through of about Premiere tutorials?
Generally, Premiere is pretty easy to use. There's like basic editing skills like importing the media, cutting the clips and stabilizing each clip. There's fun video transitions and effects to play around with to like create a more appealing look. And there's also different editing modes to help you with editing, like the graphics, or like there's a learning mode where there's embedded tutorials.
I see. And what's your favorite tutorial?
My favorite tutorial was the one where we used speed ramps to like slow down and speed up clips. I think it's great for like advertising like food or cosmetic things to make them look like more appealing.
And what was the more difficult ones for you?
The master making tutorial was kind of hard because it's like hard to get. We had to like put an existing video on top of another one, and it's hard to get like everything just right so the videos don't overlap.
Alright, I think that's all we have for today. This is Emily and Kai-Tu signing out and bringing you back to the anchors.
Thank you, Emily and Kai-Tu. You know, Syra, tea's really nice, but you know what sounds really good? I'm just really not feeling it today.
You know what sounds really good?
A Diet Coke! Hey, Syra, want to hear a joke?
Okay.
I got hit in the head with a soda.
You what?
Thankfully, it was a soft drink.
That's all for today, Warriors. Have a terrific Tuesday. Where did it go?